guys, in the last couple of videos, we have started with the STM32 blue chip bare metal programming, and in the first initial videos, I have not directly start the embedded C code. I have first tried to make you make your niche and make you understand what all things will be required and what all things you need to understand for making the bare metal code from scratch. So in the first video, we get to know about the HL libraries, what are HL libraries, their hierarchical structure, and which libraries are important for us to make the bare metal code so as to include the only peripheral register maps, memory header files in our empty project, which we do in the second video. So in second video, we created the empty project and include the essential header files. Okay, now in the continuation for this second video only, in this video we will be making the clock control embedded C code, which we understand in the third video in a second video project. So in the second video, we have created a blank empty project on the STM32 Cube IDE by the name of embedded C GPIO that I have chosen. So in that, we will be now initializing a system clock function and we'll be writing its registers and the for configuring it and for enabling the clock source and the PLL and whatsoever that thing I will be discussing in this video now. So now, without wasting time, now let's get started. And meanwhile, guys, to all the viewers who are viewing the channel for the first time, so they kindly subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell to get notified for the new videos which will be uploaded on this concept only, on the STM8 also, on the STM WB also, and many such things will be uploaded. So okay guys, now let's proceed. Now, as you have built your project and included these header files, you just need to first write here #include stm32f1xx.h in this one. And now just again build your project for configuring and for loading all those peripherals. Now it will be loaded with 0 errors and 0 warnings. Now first we need to initialize our clock, as I have told you in the previous video of this series. So now there are some steps which you need to follow for configuring our clock, and those are, as you can see here, those are that first we need to enable the HSE and wait for HSE to become stable. Now here it's your choice. If you are using the high speed external clock, then you need to enable it. If you are using the high speed internal clock, then you have to enable it and wait for it to become ready. Then configure the flash prefetch and the latency related settings. This you have to do. Why? Because when you read or write operations at very high frequency, then it has to be cope up with your flash memory also, because eventually from your flash memory only your peripheral registers will be loaded. Okay, so you have to configure the clock free flash prefetch and the latency related things. Then we will configure the clock buses AHB, APB1 and APB2. Then we will configure the PLL multiplier and HSE divider or the HSI divider, which we are going to use according to the clock source which we have used. Okay, then enable the PLL source and then enable the clock source. You have to remember one thing which is very important, is that before enabling your PLL source, you have to do all such things. If you are using PLL or not, or if you are using HSE or not, or HSI, you have to do that thing previously before enabling the PLL and the clock source. Once you have enabled your PLL and clock, then no changes can be made. Okay, then so now moving forward, so starting with the register description and the configuration for a clock, in the RCC_CR register, we need to enable that what clock we have to use, whether HSE or the HSI. So if we are using for a system clock, okay, and for our PLL also, because our PLL input will be coming from these output clock sources only. So if we are using HSE clock, then we need to set the bits HSE RDY and the HSE ON. Our HSE ON we have to set that bit, and we will monitor the HSE RDY bit, that whether our clock has been configured in a stable condition or not. And if you are configured it for the HSI clock, then you need to correspondingly enable the HSI ON bit and monitor the HSI RDY bit. So now for mapping is this, it's very simple, that we have to use the RCC arrow CR and the OR operator equals to RCC underscore CR underscore the bit which we need to set, HSE ON. Same way for the HSE underscore CR underscore HSE RDY. Then so now we have configured that what clock source which we will be using, and we have wait to become it stable. Now we will configure the clock flash prefetch and the latency related issues settings. For that thing, you go to the memory and bus architecture and move here to the bus memory map. Okay, and now here you will see a register, this one, flash SS control register flash underscore ACR. So in this, the main bits which you need to set are the latency and the PRF BTE. Okay, so what does this do? PRF BTE will enable my prefetch buffer, so that, as its name suggests, prefetch buffer, so that it will prefetch my next instruction before, so that there is no latency related issues in a high speed frequency for microcontrollers. And the latency, we have to configure that what latency we are using. If we are using now it depends upon a system clock. If we are using 0 to 24 megahertz, then it has to be 0 wait state, 1 state wait correspondingly for 24 to 48, and for higher than 48 and less than 72, 2 wait states. So correspondingly their bits are set. So that's what I have configured here. Flash underscore ACR is the name of my register. So flash arrow ACR, and then flash underscore ACR underscore for mapping the bits of that register, and the name of this PRF BTE, and underscore latency underscore 1, as I will be needing the 1 wait state. You can find all these definitions if you right click on it in the open declaration. So you will find all their memory mapping and the bit shifting and the bit manipulation you can get from the STM32F10XB.H. Okay, so now we have configured the flash prefetch and latency. Now we will configure our PLL and the buses, that is AHB, APB1 and APB2. From those buses, all our internal peripherals will be getting the clock signals. Now next thing which we need to do is configure our PLL. Okay, so in the PLL we need to do the 3 things. First, we need to set the multiplier, by what multiplication factor we need to increase our clock source, PLL XTPRE and the PLL source, that what will be the source for our PLL clock, okay, PLL system, that whether it will be powered from the HSE or the HSI, and the PLL XTPRE for dividing the HSE clock before fetching that to our PLL. Okay, so now that's what I have done here. I have here used HSE for my PLL. So I have used the one HSE oscillator is for my PLL source. So that's what I have used. My register name here is RCC underscore CFGR, which is the configuration register for clock. So that RCC underscore CFGR equals to, with OR operator, RF underscore CC underscore CFGR underscore PLL source. And now here my PLL source is set to, if it's 0 1 and left is 16 UL. So that means that my bit is been set as 1. So I'm using HSE. Now next thing is HSE divider, whether I will divide it with any prescaler or not. And here I am not dividing my prescaler. Okay, so I have not used any prescaler sources, simply use CFPLXTPRE underscore HSE, which is the 000 as clock not divided. So that bit is set as 0 with OR operator. Then I have set my multiplexer as 4. Okay, So here I have used that RCC underscore CFGR underscore PLL MUL 4. That means my input clock will be multiplied with the 4. Now next comes the bus configuration. Now next one are these bits 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. These are used for configuring my bus clocks, that is for APB2, APB1 and the AHB. Okay, so these are the bits. And now for if you move to their description, so like if for APB2 we can set the bits by using PPRE2. Okay, and as I have not dividing any of these clocks, so I have just used the divider 1. That means clock not divided, it directly the frequency which I will be getting from the mic clock, that is 32 megahertz. I will be feeding those only directly to my APB1, APB2 and the AHB. Okay, so here as correspondingly I have set the registers RCC underscore CFGR underscore PPRE1 underscore divider 1. That means DIV not divided. And divider PPRE2 underscore DIV1 and the HPRE for my this AHB prescaler, which is the high frequency clock bus interface, and that I have also not dividing. So you just have to be careful that like when I was doing it, so I have not I by default by mistake I forgot to mention the 2 here, and I am not able to debug my code for 1 hour. I kept on searching that what is the mistake I am doing. So take a note on this thing. Okay, now as I have configured all my PLL, what will be its source, multiplication divider, bus prescalers and also things for APB, HB, APU2. Now I will enable my clock and wait for it to set. Then I will enable my system clock and wait for it to set, and that's all that you have to do for configuring your clock configuration in the microcontroller for simple GPIO. And most of the in my upcoming programs, codes and the videos, my clock configuration will be same for almost all the tutorials and for all the peripherals until unless I am needing in a specific data I will be telling in those videos. Okay, so now enable the PLL will be enabled from the RCC underscore CR register. So now moving to that, and like you can see here, PLL enable 0 for off, 1 for on. So that's what I have done here. PLL on RCC underscore CR underscore. Okay, and enable the PLL and then wait for it to become set. PLL and RDY bit. I'm monitoring it in the while loop. And then I have set the enable the clock system. For enabling your clock system, you have to go to the again CFGR register. Okay, and now in these bits SWS and the SW. Okay, these SWS and the SW, these are for my enabling my clock source. Okay, so like here SWS is for status thing and SW for the clock switch. So now here I am first configuring that what will be my clock source, and here I have set as PLL is selected as my system clock. So that's what I have selected. So the SW underscore PLL for selecting my clock source as PLL, and then SWS underscore PLL for status monitoring it. So that's all the code which you need for your system clock. I have created a function with the name void system clock and will be calling it inside the main every time whenever I write my code for initializing my clock. Okay. So that's it for now guys. I hope you like the video. In the next video we are going to blink the onboard LED of the Bluepill development board. Till then subscribe the channel and press the notification bell.